Like you say, what I was trying to do is show you, look, hey, look, I don't have the experience right now. I haven't closed the deal, but this is what I bring to the table.
Exactly.
And I try to tell a lot of people this, that I can pivot whenever necessary. I can do real estate one year, and then the next year I may be doing lashes or something like that, right? Because I have kind of like mastered the art of branding and marketing.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Selling Houston podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Courtney Okonlamo, aka Broker Bay, and I'm here with the lovely Armeisha Gauche. She is one of my top producing real estate agents here at Collective Realty Co, where I am the broker owner, and I'm happy to be here.
Me too. I'm so
Girl,
excited.
you look fine as hell, if I may say so.
I look like money.
Money. A whole lot of money.
I'm weak.
I am just really happy to have you here because, number one, you know, you are one of my realtors that has been through so much, but that has accomplished so much. And I thought that it was really important to bring you on so that people can kind of hear your story, because we're not going to cry now. Look, I'm looking over. I'm seeing it. I need you to chill. I got you.
Okay.
But I definitely want people to get a glimpse inside of what it really takes to close these deals. So first and foremost, let the people know who you are.
So my name is Armeisha Gauche. I am originally from Louisiana. I'm a mom of two boys, a widow, unfortunately, and I am a realtor in the Houston area. I service the Houston area in the luxury market. And a lot of people get luxury confused with a certain price point. But luxury is not a price point. It is a mindset.
Amen.
So I service all price points with excellence and integrity.
Ooh. And you didn't know what you were going to do to say who you are. You got this.
Was that a pitch?
That was a whole pitch.
Okay.
But guess what? Our lives are pitches, right? Like, we are really required to show who we are as people, show who we are as professionals, and then find a way to connect those dots so that we can, you know, relate to our clientele and offer them the utmost service when it comes to, you know, servicing their needs. Absolutely. So that's what I love most about what we do for a living, and that's why you're here. So I really wanted to just jump right in and find out, how have you closed all of this real estate within just 1 year of being licensed and coming from a previous brokerage? I think it was short-lived there. I'm going to let you tell your own story, but I'm really curious about how you connected the dots and was really able to get to the closing table with all of these lovely clients. So tell me about that.
Okay, so I got my real estate license in 2022.
Ouch.
2022. So what happened was I came here I actually evacuated here from a hurricane, and me and my husband, we were talking about moving and things like that, but we never actually took the step into moving. Like, we never jumped. So after the hurricane hit, it was like the worst hurricane that our city had ever had.
What was the name of it?
Ida.
So that the people,
Ida.
Okay, this
it
was
in
Ida.
August of 2021, I believe, or 2021.
Okay.
So it was the absolute worst hurricane that we had ever.
So worse than Katrina?
Yeah, it was worse for us because Katrina hit the New Orleans area.
I see.
We're about 40-ish miles south of it, so we didn't get it too bad. So this one was the worst for us.
Wow.
So we came here and we got in a hotel and things like that, and I was just so intrigued. I was intrigued because I come from like a smaller town.
Okay.
So it's like the New Orleans is the city, and then I'm from like a smaller town, kind of like the bayou, the swamps, the country, things like that, right? So it's like you don't see too many Black people that are successful and that are, you know, thriving, and you don't see that too much, right? And even though me and my husband, when we came here, we had a successful business there, but you don't see that there. It takes a lot to just
to
be successful
that.
there.
Wow.
So it's like when I came here and I was able to see how Black people are winning in Houston, like my dreams were like, when I got here, I'm looking like, okay, well, my dream car was XYZ. I get here, it's like, everybody in Houston had
it
XYZ,
already,
right?
Wow.
So it's like your dreams are too small, your plan is too small.
Wow.
So it's like when I came here, I was like, how about we just not go back?
Yeah.
And my husband was like,
oh, so this was not planned?
No.
So you were supposed to be here temporarily just until things settled?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were going back after everything was settled. So I was like, how about we just don't go back? And my husband was like, okay.
So I'm going to stop you there because I think that one of the biggest things that I always preach to is the purpose and the importance of our spouses or significant others or even family supporting our dreams. One thing I've noticed is that is the foundation.
Right.
Most successful people that I speak to, they either have a huge family or a husband or boyfriend or whomever that's either financially, contributed to the dream or the career or emotionally or both. And I think that that's fascinating because that's literally what happened to you. Your whole man was like, yeah, baby, whatever you want to do, let's try that.
It is. And like, I honestly hate the toxic culture that we're in right now to where we're team men, team women. Oh, I don't need this one. I don't need that one. I need my man. I say all the time, like, I needed my husband. I needed him. Like, he was like, he had the vision. I had the brains, but he always had the vision for everything. Wow. He just knew that if he gave it to me, I would multiply it. And that was our relationship. Wow. So I need.
Yeah. Tell him again, multi-million-dollar producer.
I'm not with
we still need our men.
I'm not with that. So I was like, let's just stay here. Yeah. And it was hard at first for my kids. Okay. Because they were in school and stuff like that. But their school was done. It was demolished. It was over with. So they were out of school for like weeks, almost like a month or two or something like that. So it was hard for them at first. So it's like we came here in August and I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? So we were back and forth with our business. We were still doing our business, things like that. And my husband got sick. Okay. Like we came here in August and then he got sick in, I want to say like October, like sick to where life-threatening, like, if we were in Louisiana without the services and without the hospitals and all that he probably would have passed then because the hospitals were closed. Everything was closed then. Right. So maybe in like October, he got really, really sick and he was in the hospital for like a month here, right? And I can say that he got some of the best care in Houston than he ever received in Louisiana.
Texas is one of the largest medical meccas in the country. Yeah. So God makes no mistakes. And I really think, like, I had, not to cut you off, but I had no idea that it had sprung up so quickly. Yes. I thought that maybe it was, a long time coming and then it finally came to a head.
Now, he had a few issues, underlying issues, but I mean, he got terminally ill in October. So it's like I've had to deal with that for like a year, like that whole year. So in October, he got really, really sick. And then he stayed in the hospital for like a month. Okay. So I have a cousin that's here. She's in the Houston area. Okay. And we were talking and things like that. And she owns a brokerage. Now, mind you, shout out to my mom.
It's about to get real.
Shout out to my mom. Reposition. Mind you, when I was like in the 4th grade, I told my mom, I was like, I want to be a real estate agent when I grow up. You know, because I'm watching the TV shows and, different things like that. I'm like, I want to be a real estate agent. My mom was like, you can't be that because you don't talk to people enough. So shout out to my mom.
I would have never thought that.
For killing my dreams early. But, so she was like, you don't talk enough, things like that. Because I was very timid, growing up. So my cousin is a broker here and I was consulting her. Okay. Like on a business level, I was consulting her like, you should do this and you should do that. And this is how you should get your content. And, this is what you should be doing. This is how you should market. Different things like that. So I'm looking like, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, I have all this time in my hands. Yeah. I am in Houston. I'm not doing anything. I am actually telling her what to do in her business. Right. And she's not doing it. So let me just see what I can do. Because I just believe that it doesn't hurt to have some things under your belt. It doesn't hurt to have multiple things under your belt. It doesn't hurt, you know?
Right.
So I was like, well, let me just see. So I took my test. Now, mind you, from like October to like my husband was like in at the hospital like for like weeks at a time. And like the trip in October to November, it's like his kidneys had failed. So he was started going to dialysis like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So it's like he just withered away. He just wasn't the same person. He just wasn't the same. He wasn't my husband at that time. He was, I became like the caretaker. So now I have to carry the kids and my husband and this and that, you know, different things like that. So it's just, he just spaced out. He just wasn't who he was. So like during his hospital stays, I had so much downtime. Like it was just so much of downtime. I'm looking like, what am I supposed to be doing? You know? So I believe in maybe like January of 2022 or February, one of those months, I reached out to my cousin. I was like, hey, no, my mom was interested in real estate first.
Oh,
so I was like, hey, my mom wants to get her real estate license. Where does she go to take it or whatever? So my cousin sent me this website, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up enrolling into it.
Okay.
So my husband was in the hospital for, I want to say, a month at that time. Like I'm telling you, his hospital stays were like at a month at a time. It was like so much. And so I think he was in there for like a month. So from the time that I enrolled into the online school for real estate to the time I actually took my exam and passed, it was 6 weeks.
So you
and
heard
I passed
it
on the first try.
You heard it here. So that is incredible. It can take people anywhere from a month to probably a year to even get through the classes just because of maybe a learning curve or them just having no idea in terms of preparation. But I always say to a lot of prospective agents, most importantly, that foundation of entrepreneurship, because I heard you squeeze in there that you and your husband were entrepreneurs first, that usually is the catalyst of being able to really succeed in this career, because as a real estate agent, you become an entrepreneur too.
Right.
So fascinating. Continue.
Yeah. So it was about 6 weeks. So I'm so excited. I went and I passed it. I'm so excited. So again, my cousin was the broker. So I actually signed on with her as a broker.
Great.
Now, mind you, I had already been looking for other brokerages. I already been looking for like Black-owned brokerages in the Houston area, minority-owned brokerages in the Houston area. Because of course you can go to any of the big box, people, but me specifically, I wanted to work with a minority, a Black-owned brokerage. So I came across you when I first got my license.
Okay.
And you were not taking new agents.
Okay.
It was maybe about 4 or 5 of y'all on the photo or something like that. And you were not taking new agents. So I'm like, okay, well.
That must have been the very beginning.
Yeah, you were not taking new agents, or I guess that's how your social media was
portrayed.
Like, get you a little experience and then come to me or something like that.
Okay,
so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go over here.
I gotta go. Oh my God.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going over here. So I was with my cousin for like 2 months, and it just really did not work out. Honestly, it just didn't work out. We were not a good fit for each other.
And that happens. That happens.
What I was expecting to receive, I did not receive or whatever. So that did not work out. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, look, I don't feel that, I'm getting what I need here. Like, what is your requirements as a broker? And she's like, your broker only holds your license.
Oh,
she was like, my last broker told me that you don't give these agents everything because they'll take it and leave.
Ouch.
So I'm like, you know what?
So
I'm like, you know what? This is not for me. This is not, because you don't see me as a teammate. You see me as competition. You don't see me as if I win, you win. You see me as I'm not going to give it to her because then she'll go, I feel like she was trying to keep me small, like under her.
Wow.
So at that moment, I talked to my husband and he was like, well, we're going to keep it out there.
Right.
So I talked to my husband and I was like, I don't think that this is a good fit for me. So I'm, thinking about moving along. So I did my resume, typed up my cute little resume, and I sent my resume to 3 brokerages.
Okay. who shall remain nameless. So
Yes.
I want to jump in here because I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I never knew all of the details that you're sharing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember receiving, well, let's dial it back a little bit. So we started this firm with 2 seasoned agents that happened to be under my team lead. So I was a team leader at my previous firm. They came on board, and then always, there's 6 degrees of separation. So we had some referrals that kind of came along with that. We wanted to establish the proper systems and processes before we kind of let the floodgates open, if you will, so that we could take on more newer agents. I personally like newer agents a little bit more because they are moldable, and we are able to inject these systems and processes that they can now benefit more greatly from. So that's been a niche of mine from the beginning. However, when your quote unquote resume came through, first of all, I've never received one from an agent.
Okay.
From my staff, yes, but not from an agent. And my sister can tell you, the minute it came in, I was like, okay, Tara, this is a yes for me. What is this from you? And it was just incredible. Like, I could tell that you were star quality from the minute you didn't call me. I don't even know that you really emailed me and said anything in terms of, hey, call me, I want to discuss this. You were just on fire. Like the whole presentation, the entire, here's my value add. You knew what I had to bring to the table. Probably didn't expect that I had so much to bring to the table. But you giving me all of that with having closed no deals, right? By the way,
none.
You hadn't closed any deals at that point, but your resume and your presentation and your pitch was so impressive that it was a no-brainer for me. So I find that very fascinating.
So, and then, like you say, what I was trying to do is show you, look, I don't have the experience right now. I haven't closed a deal, but this is what I bring to the table.
Exactly.
And I try to tell a lot of people this, that I can pivot whenever necessary. I can do real estate one year, and then the next year I may be doing lashes or something like that, right? Because I have mastered the art of branding and marketing. So therefore I can go wherever. So to me, it was like, hey, look, I don't have any deals, but just give me a chance and I can show you what I can do. Because mind you, at my other brokerage, at that brokerage, like when I first started posting my content on social media, I was getting leads like crazy.
Pause, because that is the catalyst too of this whole real estate game. I preach this all the time. Leads are easy to get, right? You were getting tons of leads and still hadn't closed one deal. So tell the people why.
I was getting leads like crazy.
Tell them,
Let me tell you. I had, I want to buy this million. This is my budget. And I'm looking like, okay,
what do I do?
I'll call you right back. So I'm calling the broker and she's like, jumping around the questions and hopping around the questions, or having people intercept her calls, or like, I'm like, I had so many leads, like those first 2 months, like my CRM is full.
Right.
Honestly, when I started posting my content, it took off. But I hadn't closed anything.
Yeah.
No one under contract or anything. So I did have one couple.
Okay.
Shout out to Alexis and Ayo.
Okay.
So I remember one couple. They were like, Armeisha, we're coming into town. We found this house and different things like that. I was going back and forth with them. I had
remember this.
To the lender and stuff like that. So I was like, once I talked to my husband, I talked to a few other people. I was like, I have to get away from here before I actually start putting people under contract here. I was like, because if I'm in a space where someone is taking and not willing to give, or I'm constantly pouring, and no one is pouring into me, then I'm not going to stay here and it benefits you. Right. So I believe that I sent my resume to you on Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And it was 3 people. The other 2, they called me. It was like, when you coming? I'm looking like, this one person didn't call me yet. Where's she gonna call me?
I remember you said that.
I'm like, when's she gonna call me? She hasn't called me yet. So the other 2, they did reach out to me. They wanted me to come in. And then when you called, I'm like, okay, all right. yes, this is where I'm going. Don't nobody else call me because this is where I'm
crazy.
going. So I think that I officially came here like on a Friday. I was like officially, like my license was officially here on a Friday.
Yeah.
And then that
you were
Saturday,
under contract on Saturday.
My clients flew in that Saturday and I was under contract on that Saturday.
So what do you think, because I get that a lot, by the way. I feel like a lot of the agents that come to me, mainly from big box brokerages, they have that last like pivotal moment in their mind where I'm not going to lose another lead. I can't afford to use another lead. Let me move over before I put anybody under contract so that I don't lose this lead. Did we have a conversation about how you were to navigate those clients? Because I can't recall. What was the situation? Did you already really gain enough experience to know what you needed to do at that point? What happened?
Right now.
Yeah, tell them, girl. Like, what happened for you to get them? Because you were with me by Friday evening, I suppose, and then you put somebody under contract the next day. Did we have a conversation going into that?
We did, but I cannot remember
what it was.
Like, we did have a conversation, and you were like, Armeisha, if you need me, just call me, and I'll be able to. No, you know what? I asked you, what are some questions that I should be asking the builders, or what are some questions that they'll be asking me?
Yes.
So you did give me those answers. So I was kind of like, and you were like, the builder is going to sell the home for you. That's their contract and different things like that. So luckily it was a new construction, but you did tell me the questions to ask them and things to look for and stuff like that. So we did have that conversation.
So just a little bit of a prep so that you're not going in eyes closed and, you know, not knowing what to expect.
Right.
I think that is crazy, but unfortunately, it is the story of most of the agents that come into the firm from other brokerages. So that's what's crazy to me is the, you know, synonymous nature of everybody's experience here. I don't understand the mentality of brokers not needing to pour back into their agents, because the better you do, the better we do, right? Not the better I do, the better we do. So I have never understood that concept. I also keep the firm very tight knit in terms of how many agents we can take on because we offer so much value. But one thing that I'm learning along the way, just to be transparent, is making sure that that foundation is there. So the foundation that you just spoke of, you being able to generate your own leads, you having a foundation that we can build on is super important, whether you're new or not. It's just very important to have that in place. So very crazy.
I know,
girl.
I was ready. I was ready for this today.
So how do you? So you got the first deal underway. I know that wasn't the first deal we closed though, because I think they were building a house. So you had some other deals come to fruition. You had your husband kind of, you know, like you said, wilting away. What are you doing to balance being a mom and still selling houses and, you know, especially houses at this magnitude? What does that look like? What is a day in the life of Armeisha Gauche?
So I don't know.
You don't even know. Yeah.
So my husband, usually what moms say. He passed in November. So he passed in November the 20th, and my first deal closed like November the 22nd, and I couldn't even be there for my first deal. Courtney actually had to sit in place for that deal. So he actually passed November the 20th. Now, what does a day in a life looks like for me? It is so hard.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing to do is you have to show up when you're going through something, or when you're trying to heal, or when you're broken. That is the worst thing ever to do.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, here we go.
I know. Bring out the tissues, please.
So it's like the worst thing ever that I still have to show up, you know, and it's just not for me, it's for my kids.
Yeah.
So, and like my husband was like my biggest cheerleader, right? Girl, give me the whole box.
You want the whole thing.
All right. So it's like, he was like my biggest cheerleader. And let's tell his story too, right?
Yes.
Because the biggest thing that I've learned dealing with like this $1 million homes and things like that is people are crazy.
At least you can laugh.
People are crazy. Like there are some people that live in these fantasy worlds and they have these fantasy lives and they see these homes and they're like, I'm going to get this home. We're going to talk about this crazy man.
Oh my gosh. Do you really want to, we not going to go there.
Listen, but
just know that our lives are hectic.
But let me tell you, we're not going to go into it, but when that happened, I was in the house for like 2 days and my husband was like, what's going on? What's the problem? Like, why are you still here? He was like, you going to let that one thing affect you like this? I haven't seen you doing anything. You haven't been outside taking any photos. You're not posting. You're not talking to nobody. Like, what's going on? What are you doing? And I'm looking like, I'm going to get it together. Just, you know, give me a break. So, like, he was actually like my biggest cheerleader. So it's like these days, like when something is going good for me, it's like I want to call him.
I know.
Like even today, I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell a Houston podcast. I'm going to do a podcast, right? And I can hear him in my head, like, you know, Armeisha, I'm just so proud of you because he was all. Okay, the lashes don't fall off. But I can always hear him in my head affirming me and you know, saying those things to me. And like and I try to tell people that, like I try to get people to understand that it takes a lot for me to show up.
Right.
Like it takes a lot for me to show up. Most days I want to drop my kids off at school and just go get back to bed and just, you know, that's just what it is. So it's like, it does take a lot for me to show up, but I also give myself grace that today is just not a day that I want to do anything. And I'm not going to do it.
Right.
You know, because what I've been able to accomplish, like in this first year, you know, going through all of this, like, you deserve to give yourself a little bit of grace.
You do.
So that's just how I am most days.
One thing that, you know, hindsight's 20/20, right? And one thing I vividly remember is, yes, you know, the gentleman that you wanted to bring up, that was, by the way, guys, that was what, a 1.6 million, $1.8 million deal that would have been even bigger than anything that I have sold in my career. And what happened after that, yes, that deal died, right? Deals die every day, by the way, for no fault other than they just weren't meant to be, quite frankly. And since then, you have put 2 or 3 other $1 million plus deals under contract.
Yeah, 2.
So when you are having these conversations or were having these conversations with your husband, it really was important for him to remind you that, how you gonna let this one deal shake everything up so that you can't ever, you know, be able to accomplish this again? And here he is, you know, up in heaven, just kind of sprinkling all these $1 million deals all over you. And for you to think that he's not here is crazy. He's here. He's probably here right now.
But I would rather be able to touch him like here. But yeah, he's here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's here. So some days I just hear him in my head, like, you know.
So you do hear him in your head.
Yeah. And that's kind of what keeps me going because I look at it like I'm all my kids have.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there is no plan B for me, no plan C. Like, I'm all they have. This has to work.
This has to work.
Real estate has allowed me, like, I'm available from 7:30 to maybe 2:30.
Yeah.
After that, it's my children.
Yeah.
So real estate has allowed me to have those type of boundaries as well. Now I have, of course, I'm going to take your call or something like that. But if we can't do it while my kids are at school, then we cannot do it.
Right.
And most of my clients, they understand that. You know, I have people that follow me on Instagram and they just reach out to me. They don't want to buy a house. They're just like, I am just so proud of you. Like, I don't know how you're doing it, but keep going. Like, I have people, like random people just call me and tell me those types of things. And
I mean,
that
Armeisha,
is what helps me to be like, okay, well,
you really have like this huge following. You're being very modest. You have like, you're basically Insta famous and you have this huge following of people that love and support you, that are like really out there to see you win. And I also think that because they know your story, they are more gracious to your boundaries. And for example, like being in the middle of the closing with your other client that you couldn't be there for, even though we stepped in and we were there for you as an office, he could not stop singing your praises. He sent you flowers. I mean, he was getting what he needed from us, and that made him even more like, oh my God, not only is she going through this, but I just received, over the moon crazy attention, and it still got to where it needed to get, although she wasn't really accessible to me. And that's what, to be honest, real estate is all about. It's a team effort. There are so many people that have to do their job for us to get to the finish line that it is almost, just unreal sometimes. We got the title company, the lender, the agents, the surveyor. All these people have to do what they need to do in a timely fashion. And it's beyond me how we get so many people to the end because of it. So I think that this is kind of like a good stopping point, guys. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to let you get it together. So now we're going to play a game, Armeisha. Are you ready for this?
I am.
You sure?
I'm not.
So the name of the game is called BFFR.
BFFR.
That's it. So you've heard of that? No?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So then you should know how to play. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to ask me 2 to 3 questions. I'm going to ask you 2 to 3 questions. If I think you're not being for real, I'm going to make you take a shot. And then I'm going to ask you again before I make you take another shot. So I'm going to let you ask me the first question. That way you can kind of get your feet wet, see how you do.
Let me be for real over here. Okay,
Go easy on me though, please.
What is a common misconception that people may have about you?
You bogus as hell.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Yeah, you are not. Oh, you know what? Okay. The biggest misconception about me is that people think that I'm a mean girl. And somebody told me the other day, you just looked at the cover of the book. You didn't open it to read it. And I was like, that is exactly what that means to me. Like, if you think that I'm a mean girl after seeing all of my life's work, all of the people that I am, responsible for, as well as pour into and give to, and like genuinely, not just surface level type stuff, things that, only me and God know about. You couldn't possibly think that about me. So when she said that, I was like, wow, that is like spot on. You just saw the cover of this. You didn't read the book. So you can't really, tell me what I am until you open that book and take a second look.
Okay.
So, do you think I answered that for real?
I think you did, because when I referred an agent to you,
yes,
I was like,
oh,
Courtney has a very distinct personality.
I will cop to that.
So I told them, I was like, Courtney has a very strong personality. I was like, she is an alpha female, and I'm an alpha female. So
real
we
recognize
don't
real.
Really butt heads a lot, but we do look at things differently a lot.
We do.
Look at things differently a
and
lot.
We're still sitting at this table.
Still sitting at the table.
You know what I mean? So that's what I think life is about.
Still closing deals.
So you think I answered that properly? So I don't have to take my shot. Okay, great. My turn. You know what? We are going to do 2 out of 3 because they think they funny. Okay, so, oh, I love this. The reason why I love this question for you is because you mentioned something earlier. Every day, I am going to do how I feel and what I feel. I'm not going to feel pressure from my responsibilities and the things that I think I have to do. So this is perfect. What is your number 1 priority today? Not this week, not this month. What is it today?
My kids. And I know that's cliche because all mothers would say that, right? My kids, they're your number 1 priority.
Right.
But truly, my number 1 priority is my kids, because I can only imagine that I lost my husband. So I hurt for that, right?
Right.
But then they lost their father.
Right.
So they're 6 and they're 8. So I could never get into their head to understand how they feel or what they're going through, or just different things like that. So my number 1 priority is making sure that I am there for them physically, mentally, everything. So truthfully, that is my number 1 priority. And it's every day. Every single day.
I can't deny that.
Every single day.
Yeah, I can't deny that. So, I love that. Damn, we ain't taking these shots though. Okay, you're next.
So let's see.
Make it right now. Make it right. Make the people laugh.
Ooh, what do you spend too much time doing?
Oh my gosh. Define two.
What do you spend too much time doing?
You know, listen, this game is called Be Fucking For Real now. I want to say this.
Too much time
but
doing?
I don't want to say this. So then I have to say it, right? Okay, can I opt to take a shot?
Oh no. Let me decide. Let me decide.
Okay, I'm going to answer it. My agents are going to be mad at me, but this is a learning curve for all of us, and it's a learning experience for all of us. I spend too much time saying the same things over and over to my agents that are present in weekly trainings, that have access to me 24/7, one-on-ones, you know, whatever the case may be. And we're going to do better as a group. We're going to get through this. We're going to make them teachable moments. But I spend too much damn time repeating myself on certain strategies and things that we should be already knowing, especially if you have, you know, taken classes and sat for an exam, written contracts before, you know, all these different things. And I know that as a team and as a group, you know, this was my choice to bring on majority new agents, right? So there's going to be growing pains with those types of things, but I am going to work a little bit harder to kind of get it ingrained more so than a surface level and let me just memorize this for the moment. So I have to take some accountability for that too. But I feel like I spend a lot of time doing that.
Because she got me together one time.
Remember? Tell the people when I got you together. What happened?
It was we did the training. We did the weekly training, but I think I was at an appointment with my son, so I couldn't really hear the weekly training.
Okay.
And I was asking you, I was like, "Hey, where can I find homes in Houston with a low property tax rate?" And you were like,
"Now, see, I didn't know. I was like,
you were like, we covered that in the meeting today. Did you not see it?" You were like, we covered that in the meeting.
And I wouldn't say that to somebody that wasn't in the meeting, you know, but you didn't tell me that you were in an appointment.
Yeah. So you were like, we covered that today. It's in hard. So I'm like, let me go to hard.
And, you know, we're going to do better. We're a family here. So, you know, there's certain things like, let my sister tell it. She done told me 5 times. I told you that. You know, everybody deals with that, right? But when it's on a magnitude of 20 plus agents, you can imagine how much time is being spent when we do that. So thank you. Thank you for getting me together just now, too, because, you know, you got to self-reflect, too, sometimes. You know, it's not just about me.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm next. Here's your last one. Okay, I'm going to do this one because it really is impactful. Do you fit in or stand out, and how so?
I believe that I stand out.
Oh my God, of course.
I believe that I stand out simply because I'm really an introvert.
Okay.
And it may not seem it because I do talk a lot around certain people.
Yep.
But I am really an introvert, so I have to be able to read the room and read certain things before I'm actually able to open up or feel comfortable or something like that. So I believe, of course,
that you stand out.
That I stand out. But I'm going to still take a shot.
We're taking them shots. You know what? Let's just take a pause for the shots. Yes. Cheers to Collective. This was amazing. Long life and prosperity. Oh my God, shake it off. I like that you said, of course, I already knew the answer, that you stand out. I think a lot of times in our industry, people think that people in real estate just love to be around other people and, you know, always partying and funny and extroverted.
Shout out to Terrence.
Right. He is totally that. Name dropping, right?
Network
I know, of the year. And I am the queen of being like an extroverted introvert. Like I know how to turn it off and on, but I am most content and happy in my bed with my recline on my bed, working on my laptop, watching reality TV and being alone.
Yes.
Like, I just want to be alone.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because we spend so much time around people that that's what happens to us, but I'm really not an extrovert. You know, the truth's out.
We don't do a lot of physical labor, but the mental labor, the mental labor is...
I didn't even think about that.
that is draining.
Yeah.
And
the mental labor.
People do not understand that is what is draining.
I wish we could lose weight from mental labor.
I know, right? But that is the most draining part of it. That is a draining part of it. The mental labor.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't, I guess we just too real for be for real.
Yeah.
I think that's what just happened.
Yeah.
So we took our shots, and that is that. Thank you for playing, Armeisha.
Oh, my chest is burning.
So thank you so much for joining me, Armeisha. This was a lot of fun. We laughed, we cried, we took shots. That helps. So in closing, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. We are redefining real estate here in the Texas area. We're making sure that we're focusing on quality information that buyers and sellers and tenants and landlords can all benefit from, including real estate agents. So please, let's try to drop the agent. Let's pick up advisor. And I hope that you tune in for more information going forward. Talk to you soon.